right, so he's hanging by his feet, doing an isometric hold with an odd object on each arm. Very difficult to do, especially when you're upside down. Good job, brother. Good job.
All right, next. This is something you don't see very often. This is called an uneven press. What Scott has here is a barbell. He has a barbell that weighs 135 pounds. But what he has is 85 pounds on one side, 35 pounds on the other side, and the bar itself is 15. So you can imagine with the weight difference how much your core and your stability muscles are going to come into play. This is very difficult, this uneven press. Check it out. All right, good job. Good job. He's going to flip it around. He's going to catch it the other way. Good job. You go. There you go. That way to get it. That way to get it. Way to fight. Keep fighting. Good job. No quit. All right, today we're going to be in John chapter 11, and we're going to talk about a man named Lazarus and his two sisters, Mary and Martha. So Lazarus, Mary, and Martha were friends and followers of Jesus. Now Lazarus became sick, so the sisters sent word to Jesus. They wanted him to come because they knew that Jesus could heal their brother. When Jesus heard this, he said, "This sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God." So Jesus stayed in the place where he was for 2 more days. Jesus told his disciples, he said, "Our friend Lazarus is asleep, but I go that I might awake him." Now the disciples thought he meant asleep as in rest. But chapter 11, verse 14 says, Jesus said to them plainly, "Lazarus is dead." So when Jesus got to where Lazarus was, he found that he had been in the grave for 4 days. Now Martha, she came and she met Jesus and she said, "Lord, if you would have been here, my brother would not have died." And Jesus told her, "Your brother will rise again."
That's right. You know, you can't blame Martha. She was kind of angry, I guess, in a way. Like, if you'd have been here, we sent for you, my brother wouldn't have died. And I kind of, when I was studying this, I was thinking to myself, if I was in her shoes, I would have felt exactly the same way, you know.
Me too, but she couldn't see the big picture, you know.
That's right. I'm going to read verses 25 through 27. And this is Jesus speaking to Martha. And he says, "I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me will live, even though he dies. And whoever lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this?" And she says, "Yes, Lord. I believe that you are the Christ, the Son of God, who was to come into the world.
Yeah, and it's funny because Jesus is asking us that same question today. Believest thou this? And it's a question he got very personal with Martha when he told her that he said, I am the resurrection and the life, and the one who believes in me will live even though they die. And he asked her, do you believe this? So he got personal, just like he does with each and every one of us. Do you believe this?
That's right.
So I'm gonna pick up reading verses, starting with verse 38, going through 44. So Jesus, once more deeply moved, came to the tomb. It was a cave with a stone laid across the entrance. Take away the stone, Jesus said. But Lord, said Martha, the sister of the dead man, by this time there is a bad odor, for he has been there 4 days. Then Jesus said, did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God? So they took away the stone. Then Jesus looked up, and he said, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I knew that you always hear me, but I said this for the benefit of the people standing here, that they may believe that you sent me. When he had said this, Jesus called in a loud voice, Lazarus, come out. The dead man came out, his hands and feet wrapped with strips of linen and a cloth around his face. Jesus said to them, take off the grave clothes and let him go.
All right, so that's a whole lot in those few verses being said. First off, he prayed to God, and he did that so that the crowd that was gathered around would understand what was going on, right, and that God would receive the glory.
That's right. For it.
So he prayed for their benefit.
Right.
And at the same time, he allowed Lazarus to die to further his kingdom, to glorify Christ. He could have, and he had plenty of times before, he could have healed Lazarus, who he cared for deeply, he was a friend of. But he allowed him to die so he could show an even bigger miracle. Exactly. If you think healing the dead was big, if you think that healing the sick was big, wait till I raise the dead.
Exactly.
And I can't imagine when he said, Lazarus, come forth, and he come with them bandages on after being in there for 4 days, what that crowd was doing, man.
He probably was tripping, man. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Jesus showed that neither death or time is an obstacle for him.
Amen.
He's outside of time, and he's defeated death. You know, and there is no resurrection apart from Jesus. And there is no eternal life apart from Jesus. So I've got to ask the question, do you know him today?
This is truth.
We'll see you on the next video.